I'll get an update on Victoria's flood crisis a little later in the program, but first, the body of a woman in her 20s has been found in floodwaters at Golgong, north of Mudgee in the central west of New South Wales. Steph Cooke is the New South Wales Emergency Services Minister, and she joins me from the State Operations Centre at Homebush in Sydney. Thanks for joining us, Steph. Give us the latest update on that fatality and on what you're expecting with floodwaters over the coming hours.
Well, thank you, Chris. Well, unfortunately, we have seen this latest flood emergency turn deadly today. Unfortunately, the body of a woman in her 20s has been located in floodwaters throughout that central west area. It's devastating. It's heartbreaking for her family and for the community more broadly. And it's just another timely reminder that we need people to be very mindful of what we're experiencing right across New South Wales at the moment, and people shouldn't be entering floodwaters under any circumstances because the consequences can be tragic.
Yeah, just to update that, the reports are that people tried to drive through floodwaters. 3 people emerged, and now we have one fatality. Obviously, the coroner will look at that, but you want to repeat that warning: don't drive through floodwaters. What do you expect to see in terms of additional rainfall and rising river levels in the coming days?
Well, we are still expecting to see thunderstorms throughout New South Wales over the days ahead. Thankfully, the situation up in the Northern Rivers region and particularly around Lismore is easing. The Wilsons River is steady just below that moderate level at the moment, which is very good news for that community. But last night, it's been a long night for a lot of people, particularly up there. When we saw Alstonville, for example, get almost 230 millimetres overnight, and they're big rain totals on an already saturated landscape. So whilst it's not the amount of rain that we saw fall back in February, March, when they were sort of 600-700 millimetre totals, this time we're facing a much different scenario, and that's right across the state because our landscapes are saturated, our dams are full, our river channels are overflowing just about everywhere. So any amount of rain falling on the landscape anywhere now is simply running off and flooding areas, and it's becoming difficult at times to predict exactly where those floodwaters are going to hit and how hard they will hit communities. So but thankfully that area is easing. If I move out to Moree, again, their circumstances are easing at the moment, but very much in a major flood situation out there. They've had up to 4,000 people the subject of evacuation orders over the past 48 hours or so. And then if I move down to the south, all eyes on Moama at the moment, where we are sort of seeing that point at Cooke, Moama, reach that 1993 level of 95 AHD, which is, that's a lot of water coming down through that system.
Sure
and we
is.
now need to start planning ahead for what it looks like downstream.
Yeah, a big flood coming for the Murray. Thanks for joining us, Minister. I appreciate it. That's Steph Cooke. She's the New South Wales Emergency Services Minister.